Once again, this is Dr. Maria Rothenberger from the Miracles Happen Fertility Center at drmariarothenberger.com. This is week 42 in a 52-week series of compassion that I have been doing for the year 2020. If you want to know why I'm doing this series, go way back to January 2020 and you'll have a little gander at why I decided to do this series, and it turns out to be a freaking banner year to do this series. I can't think of a year where compassion has been more necessary during my lifetime. Certainly in other lifetimes, but not in my lifetime. This week's quote in particular I find is really apropos, having just come off a really intense presidential election year or month, and I think that you're going to really enjoy this quote. So this is the book that I am using. It is A Year of Living with More Compassion. I really suggest picking it up. It's very good and really important for cultivating compassion for yourself and for other people, because friggin' A, I can't think of anything more important than cultivating compassion right now. Okay, this quote is by Charlotte Jocko Beck, and she says, "Our failure to know joy is a direct reflection of our inability to forgive." I have seen crazy shit flying around from a very divided country in the US. Blue, red, oh, that's my phone going off. Turn that off for you. Blue and red, each throwing daggers at one another. And there are a few people who are attempting to stay, I wouldn't say neutral, but at least kind. And kindness has been really lacking. I'm finding that even in my own family, there have been daggers thrown in really horrible, just very painful ways. And those on the receiving end are having a hard time forgiving. And so I feel like this is for everyone, really, even the dagger throwers, because I feel like this vehemence, there's something underneath there that is vulnerable. And I hope that this quote, this reading here, is going to help instill some self-inquiry for people. All right, so this is what Tara Brock writes. So Tara Brock chose this quote, and the theme this week is practicing forgiveness. So she says, "Forgiveness is a wonderful idea until we really have something to forgive. When we have been betrayed and wounded, when we are threatened and afraid, holding on to resentment is a way of protecting ourselves. It is our way of armoring against the experience of raw pain." And that's what I mean. So the dagger throwers are experiencing some kind of vulnerability, some kind of intense pain, so they throw the daggers. And then, of course, those on the receiving end might respond with anger and upset as well. But underneath it all is humanity, is pain, is suffering. And so in order to strip that away and feel all the pain, in order to forgive is to strip all that away and feel all the pain. So I like what she writes here. She actually quoted a quote. She wrote a quote in a movie, from a movie. The movie is called The Interpreter from 2005. She says, "This wisdom is expressed in a short phrase. Vengeance is a lazy form of grief." Think about that. You know what popped in my head immediately was the Avengers movies. I'm like, oh yeah. They're all grieving some kind of loss or pain, and it comes out in anger, right? Freaking love the Avengers, but that it's a lazy form of grief because it's so much easier. It's so much easier to throw daggers. It's so much easier to express outrage and upset and frustration rather than to feel the vulnerability of really intense pain. So, She writes, forgiving simply means that we are unwilling to put another person or ourselves out of our heart. That is so deep. We are unwilling to put any person out of our heart, including ourselves. When you express vengeance, when you express anger and upset, it's a pushing away effect, right? Get the F out. I want nothing to do with you. Bye. See ya. And that effectively puts them out of your heart. But forgiveness means you refuse to do that. Now, does that mean that you need to take it? That you need to take others' daggers? That you need to, play, be victim? No. No. You can set very clear boundaries and still hold somebody in your heart and hold their health and happiness and wellness and healing in your heart while setting your very clear boundary. Okay, so the practice this week. Scan your life and identify and list those people toward whom you are carrying resentment. For a week, select one of these people and let your intention be to loosen the mental habit of blame. Really difficult. When you become aware of blaming thoughts, pause. Without any self-judgment, become curious about what lies under the blame. Ask yourself, if I had to let go of this resentment, what unpleasant feelings would be there? Feel your body and sense what is true. Is there fear, self-blame, powerlessness? In these moments, simply bring a compassionate presence to whatever is arising in you. What does compassionate presence mean? When you have very vulnerable, difficult feelings, compassionate presence means that you acknowledge that it's completely fine to feel what you're feeling and to just feel it. You don't have to, I like to say, should on yourself. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should be doing this. I shouldn't be doing that. You don't have to do any of that. You just be with the feelings that are there and you allow them to stay there for as long as they need to be present to process out. I hope you enjoy the practice for this week, and I really, really hope that you are able to offer forgiveness and to not push anybody out of your heart. I just wanted to share a quick photo before I go today. I took this on my way home. I commute via walking part way, and on the pedestrian bridge the other night was this lit up. Blue and red together, showing unity. I hope we all can do that.